I hate to say it's like longing for the good old days, but and certainly I'm no stranger to embracing new technology. You know, as you know, being the first to use DAT, actually one of the first to use the two-track Nagra. When you know the standard was the mono Nagra. I did a film, Bound for Glory, which was my first big union movie, incidentally, about Woody Guthrie, a union organizer and folk singer. I had just gotten in the union. The IA actually tried to prevent me from doing the movie because I was in the wrong seniority group. I joined the union. I was a full member, but you know, because of the union rules, you weren't allowed to do the job. That's another story. But I wanted to use the two-track Nagra because I wanted to be able to do. We were going to end up doing a lot of live music, which I realize now, if I had had more experience than I had when I did that movie, I had probably done 10 non-union, low-budget sort of movies. That was my first big movie. I would have been very afraid because we did 27 live musical numbers in that. It never, you know, Hal Ashby, who directed that, decided early on we're not going to do playback. Fortunately, I'd done a couple of movies where we'd had some music playback and lip sync and all that, so I sort of knew how that was done, and I kind of assumed that we were going to do a lot of playback. But Hal said, "No, we're going to do this all live." And since it was my first big job, I wasn't about to tell, you know, Hal Ashby, well, you know, if we do it live, we're going to have trouble, you know, cutting things together, and we'll, so, you know, and all that. Because first of all, Hal, you know, that was Hal's third movie or fourth. Like, he was a veteran and award-winning editor. Before he started directing, he knew he could make it all work if we recorded things a certain way. All the musical numbers were set up in a certain way that, you know, and it all worked. And we did 27 musical numbers. They didn't all show up in the movie, but I wanted a little bit of flexibility to be able to maybe put something on the other track. You know, even though primarily it was Woody Guthrie, you know, it was one person with a guitar, and I knew very early on that there were certain other people that said, well, you know, can you just put the guitar on that track and put the voice on the other track? And I said, you're not going to have that flexibility. The guitar is right there. I said, if I can make a recording that is that man and that guitar, and it sounds great, you're not going to worry about another track or whatever like that. You know, it's a myth that if you put it on its own track, you know, you can solve all the problems. Well, I wasn't really even smart enough to know enough about what could be done, but we just went ahead and did it. And most of the musical numbers were a single microphone that was just miking David Carradine and his guitar. The only problem was it turned out that David Carradine was not a very good guitar player. He was, you know, so a lot of the musical numbers don't sound very good. But not because they didn't sound good, it's just because they weren't very good. But it still worked within the context because Woody Guthrie was not really, his main focus was not being a musician or a great guitar player. So it all worked within the movie. And in any case, I got a lot of recognition as a production sound mixer on that because of the number of things that we did. You know, including This Land Is Your Land recorded on top of a moving boxcar. Wow. For some reason, everyone said, how the hell did you do that? And they thought that was amazing. And also the fact that there was no ADR for the whole movie. You know, the re-recording mixer, Buzz Knudsen, who was the chief re-recording mixer at Todd AO, and I already knew Buzz because I sat in on a bunch of mixes with my father and with Hal Ashby on movies that I didn't do because I was still trying to get in the union. But I wanted to learn about all that stuff anyway because it interested me. Buzz said, you know, where have you been all these years? And I said, I've been trying to get in the union.